is real elaborate and shit that everybody's got going on.
Is his background real elaborate? It's just his home. It's just a well-decorated home.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah, we're decorating out here.
Yeah,
we get different frames and stuff put up for pictures. And
what's that? A bunch of candles?
Oh my god, we have so many candles.
That's what they look like.
Oh yeah, dude, that's just a big display of shit you're never gonna use.
We use candles. We try and use up candles.
Not on that wall, though.
Many candles. No, that's the place the candles go when they're on deck.
Oh, that's like the candle queue.
How many candles do you want us burning at one time?
The candles that big of an apartment.
Yeah.
There's only so many versions of Rain on a Tin Roof you can buy.
This batter's box has got some fire, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It's going to be sweet.
Hell yeah. I hit record if you want to use that.
I figured you recorded.
Oh, I had no idea.
I
just assumed.
We've been starting these podcasts, and I feel like I want to capture the organic magic, so I just did it sneakily. How are you guys doing?
Well, now I don't trust you, so I'm not doing good. I'm talking to like the two people I talked to during this whole thing right here.
Nate, put on a background so you're a floating head.
You know what? I will do that. Not because you told me to, because I was planning on doing it anyway.
Because it was in the
go-to.
Oh, great. I don't have any backgrounds. I need to upload some.
Yeah, you got to get some backgrounds. You got to get some fancy oysters.
I wore a black shirt. I wore a black shirt specifically because my white shirt last time, it fucked up the whole background thing, and I wanted to be a part of it.
Oh, yeah. You just were blending in. Blending in with the curds.
Now I can stand out a little bit more. How you
Andy,
guys?
Is that your uploaded virtual background?
For this one?
Oh, yeah, your thing? Oh, Nate, I know that's your real house. That I'm aware of.
You're clearly in your oysters room.
Yeah. Oyster Bay.
Hey, guys, you don't mind if I shuck a few while we record, do you?
That's how I get past the time. Hey, you guys made me self-conscious. Now I'm going to the beach.
Wait, you got the beach?
The beach room?
That's Haiti, baby. Go to the beach room.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that already.
Yeah, we talk about
I feel like I need a better background. I just got San Francisco, and then I uploaded some hentai porn because that was a reference on one of the last episodes.
That's kind of what I figured this podcast would be.
But it was
hentai porn.
Oh, yeah, no, I
virtual background.
I hit up Nate. I was like, he watches porn, right? Like, what the fuck are we going to talk about?
I have no idea.
How do you decorate your house? Yeah.
So what? My brother who listens to me at Alex's podcast was like, definitely get him to talk about buildings. I love listening to talk about buildings.
Oh, it's so easy.
Oh,
I talk about them no matter what.
By the way, I do want to say welcome, Deviltry, to the Panties in the Mouth podcast. Yeah. Nate's with both his booze right now.
I know. I don't know what to talk about if we're not going to talk about weed.
I'm not sure. Buildings. I think we figured out buildings and.
Wait, so you know a shitload about buildings?
So many times I've thought about like starting a podcast or a blog about like
geography,
towns or geography or like construction, where I just read like curbed.com and like do a podcast about what
I don't know if
they're talking about their real estate.
I don't know if you noticed about Alex, Andy, but Alex can talk about things that, like, specifically geography things that anybody else would go to bring it up and you'd be like, I don't give a fuck. But then somehow Alex figures out how to make you go, oh my God, I never knew that Matt in Philly was interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
now it's just a thing.
Steph's stepdad does shit like that. We're like, he knows a bunch about buildings and shit like that, and he'll just go through. You'll just see like, oh, that's just a shitty apartment complex, and he's like, no, let me tell you exactly why they use these shingles and the history behind them. And you're like, I didn't know shingles were fucking interesting.
I thought that was just a disease for old people.
I totally relate. Like, some people just have the trait of tour guide. You know, that's like, I'm always walking around cities pointing stuff out. That's like your girlfriend's dad, you know, like that's exactly the sort of thing I like to do.
Oh, you're not like Andy's girlfriend's dad. You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, I'm not talking about shingles, honestly. I never talk about like brick. Like, maybe if it's brick and there's this interesting story to it. Yeah, I don't know.
Steph's stepdad's a solid dude, Nate. Don't you dare say that.
He's a great guy. He just
I actually know that apartment
Nice.
complex he was talking about. It was built in 1919.
And Alex is like, actually, the shingles are terrible. Her stepdad's a piece of shit.
Yeah. He's wrong. It's not everywhere's got those shingles.
They're
All over the place. Yeah.
Did you go to like school for architecture or something, or is that just like
No. My mom is a real estate agent, and that's probably where it comes from. You know,
my mom's a shed.
Yeah. No, honestly, like it just like would go to a lot of houses. Like she started doing it when I was like just starting middle school, and so we were like just going. I would go into people's houses if she was having an open house, and what was I gonna do? No, I had to go with her. Yeah, so I think that kind of sparked it. Also, my dad moved a lot. I think by the time I was like that age, my dad had been in 9 different New York apartments in my life, So like that just kind of, I don't know, probably you start going like New York City, all these different places. You could be in a shed. It's a whole apartment building. It's fucking crazy. That's where I met my mom. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah. It's yeah. So I don't know. I mean,
Alex, you slip in jokes like you're curling.
I'm trying.
Where you just slide it in and you don't even realize, oh, we're telling jokes here.
Well, I am aware that like I'm used to conversations where I'm talking about like buildings and then nobody's interested. So you gotta throw in a little bit.
And dude, even with that, you really should. If this coronavirus just fucks up comedy, you should definitely look into like tour guide because it seems like you'd fucking kill it.
I've looked into it pre-coronavirus.
I'm not gonna look at things I don't know the same anymore.
I got to a phone interview at a Segway tour in Philadelphia. When I was living there, yeah, I applied, and I got to a phone interview, and I must have blown it. I thought I had it. I thought they liked me.
If you had to think back, what do you think you did to blow it?
My transitions were bad for the.
You wouldn't stop talking about bikes.
Nothing. Yeah, right. I was like, I don't know how to ride a Segway.
He's like, they're easier. They get you places quicker.
Yeah, right.
They're better
like,
exercise.
Looks stupid. What am I, a cop? Yeah. No, I don't know. Who knows? Probably talked my way out of a lot of job interviews in the past. Like, started talking too much about comedy.
Have you gone on a lot of job interviews?
What's a lot?
I don't know, because I've only ever had. I've probably done about 4 or 5 jobs, but it's always just kitchen or warehouse.
Yeah. Right. No, I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I've had other job interviews, let's say. But but a lot sound. I don't think a lot. Like, what is a lot?
I don't know.
It's like hard.
10, more than 10.
More than 10
interviews?
I haven't had more than 10. Yeah, I haven't had more than 10 interviews. I haven't tried to get more than 10 different jobs.
I've had more than 10. The last job interview I had, it was for a bar, and this guy just tells me how his business is like got super fucked up. He was like, I was away for 2 years. They should have been doing this much money. They did this. It was terrible. I'm trying to get it back to where it was. Asked me what the only real question was, what does IPA mean? And I think I said India Pale Ale or Indian Pale Ale. And he was like, it's the other one.
Wait, what?
He was like, what does IPA mean? I said, India Pale Ale. He goes, it's Indian Pale Ale.
Oh.
And then he was like, well, I mean, the job's yours if you want it. And then
that sounds like that's the one thing he knows.
Right. And then
so he just tries to work that into everything.
Yeah. So I filled out all the information, and then they scheduled me for 4 days from then. And then the day before, I was like, I am not coming in.
You don't want a job.
And the guy was literally like, and I had to get a hold of somebody to be like, by the way, I will not be there. And
you were already on the schedule?
Yeah, I don't know. I realized I was gonna have to quit in 2 weeks to go away for 2 weeks, and it's I don't know what I was thinking. So
You're
that
just
was,
asking for time off from like a bar that you don't even want to work at.
exactly. I know, where I'm like asking for lunch shifts, and they're like, "That's probably a bad idea for you." And you're like, "Why am I even here?" Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, that counts as an interview, right? That's one of the 10.
Getting the whole job.
I've had at least 10 of those, maybe. I've had 10 of that kind of experience. One time doing comedy, I'm sure, got me a job. They were hiring a ton of people, but yeah, I went in this interview. It was probably not going super well. It was for a catering company, but they were doing like a bigger project. It was a corporate thing. They were opening a big new like location, whatever, like client. Anyway, I'm like just trying to get a server job, like catering. But I have comedian on my resume, and
Wait, you put that on your resume?
I always do. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because it starts more conversations. You're memorable. I'm literally about to tell you a story about how it got me a job.
Oh, I'm so excited.
It's like it comes up, and I'm a student at the time also, and they this lady who's like in charge of everything, she is like, "Who's your favorite comedian?" And I said Tom Rhodes. I love Tom Rhodes. And she was like, "I worked with him. I know him." She clearly like worked at, some restaurant, some business that like comedians would come. And she was like, and it was in like Orlando, which I think he's from Florida. And she was like, I know him personally. That was it. Couldn't have been a better person to say. It was, and I'm pretty sure that changed the whole side of that interview. And she literally went from like, "You're gonna cater. We have a coffee area, and you can do that, and that'll be even like more steady or something. Some reason it sounded better." So yeah, I like even became was interviewing for like a different position then, even though it's just as
promoted because you did comedy.
Yeah, and I was wrong for it.
Let's get him off a catering and get him the coffee cups.
Yeah, just lead a charmed life working, coffee gigs for a catering company in a giant museum. That niche.
Oh, you can't get away from that tour guy life, though. You did it in a museum.
I was doing it. I was friends with all the docents. They loved me. Yeah.
You just...
man.
You're just like setting up the coffee cups, and you're just like, which ancient civilizations use porcelain? like Alex, just put them on the table. Put them on the tables.
Oh, I was picking everybody's brain for tips, all sorts of things. Yeah. So can you just like guide me through this room real quick? I know that's you're here to guide.
Yeah, you do it. How do you do it?
Yeah. Forgo your tip, and that'll be your tip. How about that?
So.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you guys, Deviltree, if the Panties In The Mouth listeners don't know, is a weed-centric podcast. And yesterday was your Christmas. Did you guys celebrate?
Yeah.
Yeah. We did a thing. We put an episode out. We got real high. We got too high to have a straight up and down conversation.
We each took an edible and recorded and released it on 420. Yeah. We recorded. We weren't in the same room.
Yeah, but we synced it up. It actually works out very well.
Yeah. Oh, you did like your own recording separate. You didn't do like Zoom or whatever?
No, we took the edibles in separate. We did do.
I was trying to make it sound ridiculous. Like we just put two different audios together and made them a conversation. That's how I was trying to draw the people. It sounds ridiculous enough. You're like, I got to hear that. And then you're like, this matches up perfectly. And then by the end, you're like, oh, no, Nate lied.
It is that. It is, actually.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Oh, God.
We can edit.
Yep. Thanks. I gotta turn off this ding from my phone. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, is quarantine is like 420 quarantine? Was that a bummer? Was it different?
I was bummed out.
Yeah.
Do you guys?
I was fine. I mean, more like do
you actually do like normally? Because I'm not a stoner or anything. So do you make a fucking day of it? Do you like?
Yeah, I wasn't like sad. But I was definitely like thinking about other 420s that were like, that was a great 420, really? That kind of thing. And in that sense, it was a bummer.
A friend of mine sent me like just old pictures of our like past 420s, just like our setups, like, oh man, just this was us just 2 years ago. Just a table full of weed and bongs and shit.
Yeah.
And like treats that we ate and things. It was just, I don't know. It was a little emotional.
Do you remember when I ruined your 420, Nate?
I don't. What happened?
It was that show in Allentown.
Nah, keep
And
talking about it.
It was there was like some comic book convention thing that this guy I knew was like partially running.
Oh, it was me, you, and Crick.
Well, and the way they sold it to me was, oh, it'll just be like a live podcast. But then when it's going, it was literally just a normal like party, and we happened to be like in the corner.
Yeah, that was still to this day one of my top 10 worst shows I've ever done.
Oh, dude, and that to this day was the one I felt the most bad about, because it was just like I would, dude, I'm telling you, dude, I was sold that it would be this like dope thing, and then I was like, man, I made Crick and Nate leave to go to that.
We drove. Brendan drove 2 hours.
That's
Wait,
it.
really?
Well, yeah, I was at the time. It was a lot. It was a long.
It's
drive.
a lot.
It was a long drive to.
That's not. I'm kidding.
I mean,
It was
that's
it was
still.
one of them like them kamikaze shows, them guerrilla warfare shows. No one like it was like a Friday too, so people were out after work, still in like their biz, like I just got off of work drinking shit,
Yeah.
button ups and stuff. It was a nice bar, and we just set up. And I remember you were hosting, Andy, and we were still like newer to comedy then, so
Yeah.
you didn't like. I would say you didn't know this. Not trying to sound like I can't think of a better word, but you didn't like know to not yell at the crowd to get them on your side at the beginning because they weren't listening, and you were like, "We're doing comedy." You were like hitting your punches super hard, like we're doing.
Well, to clarify, because I yes, I was new in comedy, but I was self-aware to know to be like, this situation's fucked. So I'm not going to go in it being like, I am telling my jokes. Silence your voices right.
You don't remember. You did that.
No, I didn't.
You know how I remember? Because I remember Brendan leaning over to me like, why is he yelling at them? Like, I remember that moment.
Well, no, I wasn't yelling at them. I was just doing whatever I could to get attention. But I want to clarify, because I did do that. I've done that various times where, because it's like when I was new in comedy and you have that like fucking, I don't know, maybe not generally speaking, but I had more of like the fucking, you should pay attention to me and da-da-da. And it's like, rather than learning how to get people to pay attention, you just get like a stick up your ass about it. But I do remember that specific time realizing like this situation's fucked, but still trying. Like, I still had that fight in me. I wasn't, like, jaded yet, so I still had that fight in me. So I was like, I'm going to get him whatever way I can. So I did. I was just, like, screaming things to hopefully get him to pay attention.
I wish I could remember what bit you used to do then, but I remember one of the punchlines was, like, something that if you hear it, it like just if you heard somebody say it, it catches you off guard.
It was the fisting joke.
Oh yeah. You like yell like so I'm fisting her. Like
yeah, no, I said I know, because
it was the fisting joke.
Of course it was.
I remember, no, because I remember it specific. Trust me, I can't forget this day. That's why I had to clarify, because I remember this whole day vividly.
All right, you probably got it.
Because I was
20, baby.
No, because like legitimately, I remember being like, damn, I wasted Crick and Nate's whole day. I felt so bad about that. No, it was the fisting joke, and I think in the one line I said, I tried to fist my girlfriend, and like they weren't, so I like shouted that like 2 or 3 more times, and it got quiet, and I could remember one guy doing like, it got quiet, and I could remember one guy just going, okay.
Yeah.
Like, why are you yelling that in the corner of a bar? When you think about it, that's what you were actually doing. Like, that's the funniest part of the whole night.
Oh yeah. In hindsight, this was a bar. This was just a normal bar where there happened to be like dudes in the corner. Like, because we didn't get like a formal announcement of like, here's some fucking comedy. So to them, this guy is just screaming at them over a microphone.
And now that I remember, we didn't even have one of us go up and do like, make sure you weren't opening cold. It was just like, all right, Andy, you're hosting. Start this shit. Like, me or Brendan could have went up and been like, hey, we're going to get a comedy show started in 5 minutes. Well, just something to get people like, what the fuck? They can start leaving if they wanted to.
We were real new then.
It wasn't even a year in.
Really? Oh yeah,
I
that
don't think
okay.
so.
Because you and me started around the same time, so yeah,
'Cause
it
you
was.
know why I know that? Because Brendan was there and not Lemaire, and we met Lemaire a year. He started a year after we did, and Brendan wouldn't have been there, and not Lemaire have been there. If that makes sense.
I get what you're saying.
Had to be.
Yeah, you know, Alex. We all had a gig together once, the three of us. It was like a good bad gig.
Yeah, I think we all had fun.
Yeah, I had a good time. I remember yelling at it was some guy who had like that classic, like he was a big dude named Tiny or something there. I don't remember. I remember, but I don't remember.
Yeah,
What?
I know. The lady was fun. Her birthday.
Oh yeah.
Hey guys, guy who wasn't there.
No, you were there.
You were there.
You were there. It
It
was
was the three of us. It was just the three of us.
Oh, I thought no.
And
Nate, you were still talking about Lemaire, so I thought you meant you, Lemaire, and Alex.
no. No, I don't know.
Really.
You're talking about the
Right?
fucking,
You were Nate. That's what you were talking about at first, right?
Yeah. And then we were. I just the thing I remember more about that show than anything is we ended up after the show. The way we ended the day was going to like.
Oh, yeah.
Like
This
it was
the
like
middle of the day.
Yeah.
the St. Patrick's show.
Oh yeah, it was on St. Patrick's Day or something.
It was.
It was like
Or the
in the
Saturday
vicinity.
before.
Well, that's
Yeah,
why
it was like that.
That's why like everyone was like super rowdy and crazy because they were
right.
They were day drinking.
But it
for
was
Yes.
St.
it was
Patrick's
a
Day.
birthday party too, though.
It
Yeah,
was.
but it was around St. Patrick's Day. Everyone was in green and
Right.
shit.
You're totally right.
Where did we go after that? It was like a carpentry, like somewhere for like a
Oh,
carpentry factory
yeah.
or something.
Yes.
You guys must have went. I didn't go with you.
No, you definitely came. Maybe you
Really?
did, but I don't remember us leaving you either.
I don't either. What did we
No,
do
but
after
you know what?
that?
We might have because we drove together, Alex.
Yeah.
We all
Both
hung out.
separately.
We all hung out at the bar for a little bit,
For
but
a while, I remember.
Okay. Oh, because me and you went to get edibles, Alex. The guy was like,
Right.
"We got these fudges, and they're at
Yes.
and they're at the carpentry. They're at the carpentry factory."
I know. And then he showed us all the carpentry stuff.
Yeah, I remember going in there thinking, like, as we pulled up, like, this is where we could die. Like, if
Acres.
Yeah.
Acres of land. Their factory was huge. It was
Was it-
gigantic.
where does that?
It was huge.
I don't remember it being that big or like.
Well, I think they had like, I don't know, maybe not acres of land, but it was a big fucking
Yeah,
factory.
yeah. It was definitely a big operation in the middle of nowhere, and the dude was like trying to give us his weed pens. He gave us some fudge. If I remember right, that fudge was
Yeah.
kind of strong.
I can't remember. I feel like that was. I feel like it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Wait, was that like a scary getting drugs scenario?
no, it was dope.
Well, it was. I don't know. For Alex, it wasn't.
It was scary right up until I think we walked in. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Right.
Once we got in, we were like, "Oh no, these dudes are cool. They just had a good time at the show." And
It was weird for a second though.
'Cause-
Yeah,
'cause
but no,
we're-
they were cool.
It was in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say I've had that because like my mom's side of the family, and then some people in Steph's family, they live in more like rural settings. So like when you go see them, it's not that like fancy looking or whatever, and you're just like, oh, this is gonna suck. But then when you go in their house, you're like, oh, that's where it's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got the shitty exterior, but the fucking like nice ass house. So wait, what's the so that ranked pretty low on scariness of going to get weed?
Oh yeah. I'd say way scarier shit.
That was
has
no. That was like,
happened.
oh, not for me. That's like the highest.
That's the highest
But you gotta
fear
remember,
factor.
You got to remember, I'm going in there as a black dude in the middle of nowhere. Where's that PA still? I think that's PA.
Yeah, it was definitely.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I remember it
you
actually
know,
wasn't that far from my place in PA. I was
Oh, you
I was
were
happy.
still living in PA,
Well,
right?
I remember I was really happy about that show because you guys hit me up out of the blue like around 11 or whatever, and I was just like, because you kind of had like your day set or whatever. But then I looked at the address. I was like, oh, this is like 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
I was like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Dope.
But what I was saying is it was like two super country white dudes, like, as I don't know, just like the dudes who were calling the compound. It was like the people you would imagine being that. And then we went to a sawmill or whatever it was.
Yeah. Right.
to get an edible. Like that to me, I met niggas in the back alleyway late at night to buy some weed. But what are you gonna do? At that time, I was buying like nicks and dimes. Nobody's gonna try to rob me for $10. You know what I mean? Like, no, that was easily my scariest weed buying experience.
Oh
So
man, well,
funny.
What have you had done that was scarier, Alex? Like what?
just
scary-
some like cars, even. Yeah, like just I feel like it's not necessarily the alley or the sawmill, it's the people you're with.
The people, yeah. Nah.
Does that make sense?
See,
Or the house or the whatever?
Alex likes the sawmill because he's like, these
These
things
dudes were
help.
chill.
These things help make buildings.
Yeah, yeah. This is how you furnish a housing complex. I don't know.
And I think they did have shit like that, like cabinets that were like halfway being met.
They did a lot of work in New York. I totally remember that.
Yeah, no,
Like,
they were cool.
they were like, we actually like. There's an apartment or two that the company rents in New York City that a lot of them stay at all the time. I don't know. We were talking to them for a long time at the bar and at the sawmill. The sawmill. I don't remember. It's not sawmill. Sawmill just feels like.
I don't know what you call a carpentry building.
I don't. Yeah, right. I don't know. They made wood shit.
Yeah. The wood shit building.
That's a really good question. I don't know what they would call that. Is that? Do you guys hate because isn't that a thing when you go pick up drugs, you have to like hang out for a while?
You're such a cop. I know
Depends.
We were asked about having you on our podcast before, but it's just when you go pick up drugs, like it's
yeah, exactly. Like that's why we have dispensaries.
Hey,
you're
man,
thinking about picking up, man. You're thinking about it's on us to go to them all the time. Oh, this is the whole. Hey, when you go pick up your pizza every day of your entire life.
Nah, I'm doing a podcast the day after 420 with two potheads. I just assumed I was like, I'm gonna interview them.
Fair, that's fair. Interview
so, what's your favorite doobies to smoke?
Pepperoni. No, I don't.
Does that pair well with Satan?
Yeah, the devil's lettuce, the devil's tree. Oh man, I just got our name.
Oh, is that why we named it that?
Just got it. No,
that's crazy.
Kind of.
Alex was just like, those are some dope words, and just put them together, and they made sense. No, but isn't that that's normally a thing? I remember like doing it once or twice in high school and just having to wait in a parking lot for a while, and I was like, I hate this. I hate this. I'll just drink.
What were you worried about? Were you worried about like the cops showing up also at the same time?
I mean, a little bit, but like real. No, for like a little bit.
I believe you.
More so, no, for fucking serious, Nate.
Whoa! Now I know. I know.
Hey, dude.
Sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
It's okay, partner. Got a little hot there. Sorry about that, guys. No. It was like obviously it was like a little bit the cops, but more so just like you call the guy up. All right, I'll be there at 7. And then you got to like wait a little bit longer. And then it just, I don't know. It's a whole ordeal to then just like sit around and smoke and giggle with your friends.
I agree. But if you had a liquor store by you, it was the only liquor store you knew of, and they only sold, one thing, just Busch Light. And that was the only 30 rack they had. You'd fucking be bummed out also. You'd be like, yeah, my liquor store sucks.
True.
Eventually. It's all about finding a good guy.
Oh no, I definitely lean more towards alcohol a lot because of convenience.
Yeah.
I'm not I don't know. I don't like going through all the hoops.
Yeah, I get it.
That's why like if it gets legal, I'll probably start getting into it more.
You will.
You might as well not. Did I ever tell you the time that I tucked Andy in because he was too high? I think you said it at your mic. I think you said it at the mic you were hosting. Yeah.
I
was trying
story.
to I remember,
what happened?
I just didn't. I had barely any. It just wasn't. The part I was trying to make it into a joke, and the part I was trying to work into the punchline was I was holding a bag of popcorn. I put my hand in it. I took it out. I put it back in. I took it out, and I just looked up, and I was like, I don't know. And then I turned to Nate, and I just go, I got to get out of here. And Nate just goes, we're at your place. And then, he tucked me in and immediately was like, all right, what's the lie?
He just tell his wife.
He just instinctually was just like, we're covering your ass, buddy. What are we lying about? And I was just stoned out of my mind. Like, Nate's a good friend.
Just give me some water. That's all I know I need right now.
Yeah.
You're the second friend I tucked in for being too high in my life.
Who else you tuck in?
Dominique, the one who brought us weed at your wedding or at your bachelor party that you didn't smoke.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, he brought me and Pat weed. last week's guest, Pat George, and
Native.
but he got like too high before we went to like a football game or something. I showed up. He had moved out to the suburbs then, and I had went out there. I got all jig. We was gonna go talk to white girls, and then we got out there, and he was like just too high. And his mom was sitting on the couch looking at me, just like, "Yeah, you guys can't go anywhere now. He's too high." And I was like, "All right, well, I'm going to leave." And then she was like, "You're not going to take care of him?" And I just couldn't be like no to his mom. I was just like, "Well, all right, like I'm here now." And it was a whole thing. He was he was like comedically high, like not like things that doesn't even make sense now. But we was kids. He was like rolling on the ground and asking me to like take his arms, like he was putting them out this way. He was like, "Just take them and turn them this way for me." I was like, "What?" He was like, "Just turn them." And then I did it, and I turned him. And he was like, ah. like I just made.
I hate that. I would just take his hands and just start slapping him with them.
Yeah,
because I'd just be like, you're high. Stop. Just stop doing this.
It was. Now I don't know, Alex, if you had this. Like, it was the first time he ever hit a bong. Do you remember your first time hitting a bong? Like, I don't know if I've been as high. Like, the first time I hit a bong was a different level of being high for me. Like, I remember that day. I had to go sit in a car. Like, we were all in some dude's, like, basement. We were playing NBA Street. And then, like, I hit a bong for the first time. I remember we had chairs and stuff. There was a dude sitting in front of me in a chair. And I just was like, fuck it. I just put my head on the back of his chair, which is, like, a definite no-go for dudes hanging in a basement, chilling together, like, resting. And then I just got up and went to the car. You don't remember that? You didn't have nothing like that?
I remember my first time ever in a car. No, I don't. Do not remember my first time hitting a bong. I don't think. I mean, it's like I feel like I'm getting hit super high. I had like just smoked right before we recorded. Like feeling. I was gonna say, I feel like I just got into some sort of zone. I see it on Zoom. I'm like, oh my god, my eyes look like half as open as normal.
I'm so high, it looks like you're at the beach, Andy.
Yeah, I'm still celebrating 420. Yeah.
Are we doing beaches together now? I'll go beach.
Man, you guys both have beaches. That sucks for me.
Yeah, you don't have a beach.
I don't.
Yeah, life's a beach, dude.
You just have that goofy painting of Gumby backwards. It's that robot Gumby.
It's like a Brooklyn Children's Museum ad.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What's the museum for? Nightmares?
I know, it's terrifying. I kind of love it.
I mean, I like it, but I don't. That seems like it would scare a child.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I'm gonna go here and learn from him.
But it's supposed to entice you. What is going on there? What are they doing? The children make the art. I guess I don't know.
It's a pregnant bird robot.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, man, I don't know. You remember your first bong hit? I feel like my first bong hit, I feel like it was like the same day I ate edibles for the first time, like pot cookies or something. Like I just went, like the first day I hotboxed, like it probably all was like together, that I don't really think about it as being like the first time I ever hit a bong. I also hotboxed a bathroom and ate an edible cookie.
Not to keep bringing things back like to race or whatever, but the thing is, I had been smoking for like 4 years. I started smoking weed when I was, I think, 13. And so I had been smoking for years before I hit a bong for the first time. Like, I didn't hit a bong until my friend moved to the suburbs and was like, we were smoking with like white kids and stuff. Mm-hmm. We were just smoking blunts back in the day.
That's true. I feel like the white kids in the suburbs get way more
right,
like creative,
with
like or just no, because I remember being at parties in like high school and some kid would pull out just a weird glass contraption. You're just like, that gets you high too? All right.
Yeah,
dude, I do sound like a cop. Holy shit,
a glass.
Shit. Yeah, dude, they would just bring out a water pipe and I'd be like, wait, you use that for what?
Yeah, no, I still same thing. Like I remember my first time smoking a bowl. Either I was selling weed to these white kids from the suburbs, and they were like, "You want to smoke with us, dude?" Which was like, all right, if you want to smoke the weed, I just sold you with me. But in two great experiences in my life, like a bowl for the first time and a bong for the first time. But the bong was one of those times where I was like, I maybe shouldn't do this anymore. Like I'm too hot, and then
Then you got to get one.
Yeah, yup.
Then you got to have 3.
And now
Get a better one.
I've had like 7.
Yeah.
I only actually own 2 because they all die.
Well,
I remember my first bong. That's more memorable. The first time I ever smoked was out of a bowl, though. So, I mean, and then the second was a joint. So, I don't know. It's hard to, it was all over. I don't know. It wasn't like, oh, yeah, we would just do this one thing. It wasn't like how I started.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I feel like
Dutch Masters.
I feel like the suburbs really influenced you, Nate, though, because you're like, it's a science experiment for you to get high now.
Oh yeah, really? No, it really did. Like it my friend moving to the burbs changed my life. Like, because it would have just been blunts. I'd have just been another dude who that's how I just smoke blunts, man. I don't need all that other shit. But we went out there and now I got gadgets. I got a fucking, if it comes through from it's blending in with
and then it didn't. Yeah.
Gotta put it in my front of my face. These things is magic.
Really is.
I can go this way and come this way, then come that way, then come back out.
Hey, get the hell out of here.
Hey, you calm down over there.
Yeah, you guys got to be all riled up.
Nah, bros, the Post 420 podcast. We're chill as shit over here.
Yeah, right, exactly. You guys are on the beach and you're aggressive, Nate. Come on.
Yeah, come on, man. You're not being really Irie. I'm just saying.
That's funny. All right.
So, Alex, you've never gotten too high?
Oh, I've got too high plenty. Too many times. You know?
No?
Yeah.
What's a good freak out story?
Oh, I don't know. I fucking what's a good one? I don't know. I mean, I've definitely just gotten like way into my head or like, you like just
do you normally
high.
Like are you good at like getting high and going and doing stuff?
Good at it?
I don't know. The few times that always like would wig me out. I would just be like, let's just stay on the couch and never leave.
No, I can go out. I can go like get up and do something. I mean, I might not be. I'm not gonna say I'm like, oh, I'm phenomenal at it, but it doesn't like a high usually like when a high like lasts really long. It's like late at night. You're just like somewhere you like a fucking sawmill that you don't want to be at, and then you just get super fucking. It's hitting you hard. That's when I would say it's like that's when you're too high. You're like, I know I'm overthinking it, but I'm like still.
All right. So when you get wood shop high, that's too high.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, it's tough. Like sometimes I think if I'm somewhere I don't know where I am.
Yeah.
I, like smoked with people like after a show, and then I kind of have to do something like I'll like never turn it down.
That's something I definitely do more than I should is smoke weed after a show with people. Like
and then you might like you can get too high. I feel like
Would you say that's a thing you shouldn't do or you should do?
Well, because like even just like smoking another strain sometimes will like make you higher than you, and if you're not kind of controlling it. So let's say you're smoking like bowls and someone pulls out a blunt after a show. You don't really smoke blunts normally, so that'll probably, even if it was your weed that you've been smoking, you're going to get higher. Then the strain is different, so it's going to get you higher, and then you have no idea. Sometimes people that smoke after shows, they like go for it. So it'll just be like super high grade or whatever, and you just never know. Sometimes you can just, that combined with being in a strange place can make you too high. Not all the time, but like it happens.
That always seems like a common theme too with like a lot of people smoking weed, where there's that assumption of like we're just going for it.
Yeah, right. Like this is the thing, and not just like take a hit.
It's like when it comes to smoking weed, there's just always like one speed, which is always just like let's fucking shoot for the moon, dude.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah,
how much do I put in it? All of it.
That's definitely my speed with weed. I want to tell my freak out story. It's not that big a deal. I had weed cupcakes. I had like 3 of them. And I remember thinking my body was like literally thinking this. Like it felt like my body was next to my body. I don't know how to explain it past that. Like, you know how like if you're touching things, you can feel your hands touching things?
Yeah.
But it felt like I was touching like 7 inches to the left of my body. So like I'm touching here, but I could feel it here. It doesn't make sense. I can't explain it if you didn't feel it. But I remember that day. This was 2 420s ago, and I remember
made
that
your arms longer.
it just made my brain think they were in a different place than they were. It was
whoa.
Yeah, it was. I remember that day. I was just texting my friend in that same text I was talking about earlier. Like that was I had left that was at his place, and I left like I think I'm done. I think I'm done drugs. That was it. I've reached like, but not in like a ironic like I was too high. I did it. It was like no, this was too much, and I'm going too far into this now. This was like heroin. Like I don't know. I just was too high, and I just
Did you take like a break after that?
Yeah, I think I took like a week, and then I was like, the world is too stressful. Back to normal Nate.
What's the degree of like, because I know you said for you, Nate, and you could answer this too, Alex, but like, what's the degree of like, I use this because, like Nate said, life's stressful, and then like, it's also just super fun?
Man, that's tough.
I'd say 50-50 for me.
Yeah, I was just going to say 50-50. So it is. That's the answer. 50-50.
All right, cool.
For everyone.
I think
we speak for every single person. I think we are. Anyone that we can spokes for
has been spoken for.
Yeah, it's been exactly. I don't know. I mean, it definitely feels like, I'd say social is like the fun. You want that to be like more fun. It's rare you're like, hey, let's get together just because we're stressed out and like have to join around. Oh, pass that to me. I'm really stressed.
Hey, man. Life's crazy. Party at 6.
Yeah, so I'd say that's like the fun part. Anytime you're kind of smoking by yourself, it's not like you're smoking by yourself going like, I'm having a fucking blast. I mean, sometimes you're like, I'm going to put on a movie, I'm going to play some games and just do this, or even cook. I'll do that. That's fun.
You just named a bunch of fun things to do.
I know. I did realize how fun it is to get high by yourself.
Yeah, you're like, it's not like you're always having a great time when you're high by yourself. You just play video games or watch movies and cook good food and have sex that feels better than it does when you're not high. Like you just
yeah. You get higher while you're high. It's fucking fun.
I feel like I feel like with getting high, it's easier. I know I was saying before, like when the times I've done it, I want to just sit on the couch, but it does seem like you're able to do more shit. Like the other night when I was like drunk and I was like, I'm gonna play Rocket League, and I get like 2 seconds into the game, and I'm like, I can't do any of this. It's drinking seems like it's a hard one to do and then do shit.
Well, what do you mean when you say do shit? You mean like productive shit or like focus shit? Like I have a great time. I mean, we do comedy and drink. Like I can go on stage not fucked up, but like a few beers in me.
Here's a question: are you good at video games drunk?
No,
me either.
No, I'm real good at video games high, but I'm not good at all at them drunk.
Right? That's impossible. I think that says it all. Right? That's how much you can function in the world drunk.
Yeah.
Like if someone, I'll put it this, like if someone was like Andy, would you rather go like you have to either smoke or drink and then like study for a test? I'd opt out. I'd opt to go smoke before studying for a test. Can you imagine like trying to study and just have it like throwing beers back and shit?
Yeah, that'd be rough.
Whatever you did on the first beer, you'd be fine, and then after that.
Oh yeah, dude. The greatest. My problem is like the greatest feeling is to be like kind of drunk. Being kind of drunk is the best for me. My problem, like you were saying with smoking, my problem is like I just like once the switch is turned on, and I'm not like sitting alone, just like fucking doing shots and pounding them and like trying to do maybe a couple. But
isn't there footage of you out there taking shots of beer to wrestle it?
It's not out there because I watched it and it was embarrassing. We've talked about it before, and you might have heard me. I tried to turn it into a joke. You might have heard it, Alex. But no, I was doing a power hour for the Royal Rumble, and I thought it was gonna be good content. And then I watched it back, and I realized it's super sad because I was trying to edit it to like the good parts. There were none, and you just watch it back, and you're like, oh, this is just a video of me drinking alone. And it's the most sad. So yeah, that was a big That was a big, like, I laid it up, but I did it with such force that it bounced off the rim and hit the other basket and won the game for the other team. That's basically what happened.
Weird basketball reference.
Yeah.
Well,
For a wrestling show.
It was over,
You know?
over exaggeration.
What would it have been like if it was an allegory for the Royal Rumble?
Same thing. Exact same thing.
Same thing.
Entering 30th and somehow getting eliminated first. Is that track?
It'd be going in 30th and there's one person in and somehow the first entrant got back in and eliminated you.
Yeah, right. 93. No,
What?
I don't know. I don't remember. What's that year that Ric Flair did that thing like that?
I don't remember.
Ric Flair, he got kicked out of Royal Rumble, came back and won.
Yeah, I think he went under the ropes.
I remember there was the one last year during the Women's Royal Rumble. One of the female wrestlers came out, but she had foot problems earlier in the show, and she's limping out, and she's just like, I can't do it. And then another wrestler comes out, and she's like, let me in, and the guy's like, I guess. That's one of my favorite things about wrestling is it's there's really important rules. Unless it'll make a good story, then fuck it.
Fuck the rules. I know, right. The rules can always be changed.
Oh, yeah. During the men's Royal Rumble, the one dude came out for 30th, and then there's one chick, her name's Nia Jax. She's a burly chick, and she comes out and just houses this dude and then enters the Royal Rumble. And once again, it was just I guess, okay.
Why not? She's a participant now. That's how you sign up. That's how you apply to do it.
Just house somebody. You just gotta fight somebody before you get in.
Yeah. Does that count as a job interview?
I would
Probably.
say, yeah. Oh, Alex. Also, I want to ask you this because me and Nate have been doing. Basically, we've been doing mental health checks every week when we do the podcast. We're not just here to entertain. We're here to check on each other, and we're every week it shifts. One week I was trying to learn self-defense. I don't know. I guess to fight my wife. I mean, she might get. I don't know. She's been weightlifting a lot. I'm more afraid of her than she is of me at this point. What are you doing to get through this, my man?
Oh man, I don't know. To get through it,
you're nothing. I'm crumbling mentally.
Yeah, fucking nothing. I'm trying to stay productive. Trying to take. I really quickly was let me dive into some projects that I can work on. So I've had a couple of things. Trying to fucking write, trying to do stuff like that. Doing more of these podcasts and shows. I mean, ironically. Right before COVID-19, I was telling myself, I need to do more podcasts. It's working out real well for me in a way. So I just try to stay active in whatever way I can. Not doing nothing. But I've been cooking like crazy. Some of the basics even are really nice. I feel like we've been eating really well. We're not. We're not eating fast food. Oh man, I'm going crazy, experimenting, all sorts of stuff. What's our dish? I found. Here's the thing. Also, I say this everywhere, but every time I go to the supermarket, they're out of something. They're not out of toilet paper, maybe, but they're out of chicken or fucking beef or whatever. The basics. And so I've been getting creative with what's available, and learning a bunch of new dishes. So it's been pretty sweet. But my go-to dishes generally, I mean, I make a tomato sauce a lot. I do, stir fries, rice bowls, salads,
soup
with fish. I do generally make soup. I guess it's been already a month, but I made a ham stock, a pork broth. Yeah. And I tried to make kind of authentic ramen noodles. That was it wasn't the greatest ramen noodles I've ever made, but...
Do you know how to make authentic ramen?
So, I'm just using top ramen for the noodles. Don't get me wrong. But I'm making up my own broth.
Oh, yeah, because that's where it's at. When you cook,
right?
People focus on the noodles too much. It's the broth.
Yeah. Ramen. You hard-boil an egg and that kind of thing. Try and keep it a little runny and throw it in. Throw some scallions in. Throw stuff in. I made a pork loin. Slice that up. That goes in. It was the best ramen I'd ever made. But not the best I'd ever had. And honestly, the broth, I didn't love my broth, but I did try it. I mean, it was fine.
The reason I
But
brought
it
up
wasn't
soup,
my favorite thing ever.
I was
reason
gonna say, Nate, you brought up soup like you're like, I got something.
I love soup.
No, because me and Alex have had like discussions on about munchies for weed and stuff. Since we're still talking 420 shit, we've had discussions about like good munchies for like what's the best munchies, and one that Alex kept trying to like sell me on was soup. And I just wanted to bring it up because it sounds terrible. It doesn't sound like a munchie at all, in my opinion.
But I'll listen to an argument.
You wouldn't get high and just go eat a bowl of ramen.
No, I'd be
No.
I mean, if it was prepared, like I don't know, it wouldn't be my choice. It would be like if I was like on Newark Ave, they got all that. They got pizza, they got ramen, they got burgers, chicken, they got everything on that little strip of Jersey that Pet Shop is on. The ramen place would be after everything else on that. Like I'd get crazy.
Hypothetically, everything is closed. It's April 21st, 2020. And the ramen place opens up. Would you eat there high?
No.
Never?
Never.
Not even today if they opened and you were there.
No. I'm terrified.
You don't even have to go. You're already there for some reason.
Right.
Take out walking there.
In that circumstance, and
everyone's wearing masks. You're hungry.
Everyone in the building has already been checked for COVID-19.
Yes.
Oh, they're checking out the door, dude. They figured out how to get the results in minutes.
Yeah. You're walking by. They're like, we're going to let one person in at a time. You can be first because you are here.
Well, then
you know what? Because you're first, you don't even have to tip. They say that.
Under those circumstances, yes, I would get some ramen, and then I would trade it for a DiGiorno's pizza.
No. DiGiorno's isn't available. There's no DiGiorno's. I just said you have to get creative.
I was actually
just in the supermarket.
I was like, in Alex's dream scenario, I was like, I'll still would make a DiGiorno's pizza after I finish that.
All right. You can't smoke. You're out of weed. So the DiGiorno's, you can't smoke before that. And
I get my gun.
Yeah.
You shoot yourself in the face.
I eat a bullet.
If you think
Alex smoke beforehand, before eating the bullet.
Well, if that was the case, Andy would.
You can't smoke before eating a bullet, but you can. The guy gives you the option to smoke before eating ramen. Still
might throw a little salt in the barrel. Just throw a little salt and pepper in the barrel.
I just love how Alex is just giving you dream scenarios for takeout, and I still feel like you'd be like, nah, I'd take a taquito at 7-Eleven that's been there for 4 hours.
And someone sneezed on it.
Yeah, right. And the guy grabbed it without a glove.
If you think soup is a good munchie, please tweet at Alex and tell him. If you think it's a terrible munchie, please tweet at Alex and tell him. Please tell him it's terrible.
Can we also say, speaking of Alex's tweeting, we just got the best tweet ever from a listener. Because he was tweeting, he's just like, oh yeah, drinking a natty while listening to Panties in the Mouth, and he took a picture of it, and he like lined up the natty ice, or no, it was like a natty tall boy,
yeah,
and you could see he was listening to Panties in the Mouth, but it was on his car stereo.
Oh yeah, yeah, I was like that's our boys out here driving, drinking natties, listening.
But dude, it gets better. It gets better because I retweeted that and I go, hey man, thanks so much, thanks for the support. Don't drive that car. And then he tweets back at me and he just goes, oh, no. I should have clarified. I'm not driving. I'm just on my break at work. And I was like, this guy's a man.
I love it.
Just pounding natties on his break at work, listening to Panties in the Mouth. And I want to put out the challenge. Who can fuck off the most at work while listening to Panties in the Mouth? I want to see a dude like bending over a girl, putting his iPhone on her back, and you can see our podcast playing.
Oh, that would be a dream.
over a fry later, just risking it all.
I want to see a video of one playing out over a Popeyes, like the speaker they used to call it out, to call shit out.
Play Panties in the Mouth over the speaker at Walmart.
Yes.
Yeah. Unless that's illegal to tell you to do that.
Play the part where Andy talks about not coming in his wife.
Yeah, if that's illegal, parody. Yeah, man. This has been a dope episode.
Yeah, I had a bunch of fun hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, you guys
This is a blast. This is the best. It's podcasts are 2 for 1s. You get to fucking create some content, and you're like, oh yeah, my friends. I forgot. I forgot your faces. Alex, throw out your social media and stuff so people can go check you out.
Yeah, I'm at Alex Grubard on everything. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. And I'm doing Weeding Out the Stoned digital episodes, and we'll be back doing live shows as soon as that's a thing. So check out Weeding Out the Stoned.
Me and Nate did the digital ones.
Yeah, you guys have both done them. Yeah, so I'm still releasing episodes that, like, season 1 is basically recorded. But there's episodes on the Facebook page for free that from yesterday, 420. We did 2 live episodes on Facebook, so they're up on our Facebook page, and you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and then full Cyber Slush episodes are going up on Patreon, and teaser 1 game episodes are going up on YouTube. So just Google Weeding Out the Stoned, and I think we've got something for you.
Hell yeah, and check those out, because I've personally never been to a Weeding Out the Stone live, but I've only ever heard good things about them. So definitely check that. And doing your show was fun as hell. So definitely go check Alex's shit out, Weeding Out the Stone.
Thanks for doing the show, man. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, this was fun.
This
Thanks
was
for
a
having
blast.
me.
Thank you so much, Alex.
Man.